I will lead us in prayer, guys. Feel free to join us as we bow our heads and lead us into this.
Do you pray with your hands up? Do you put them out? Do you put them together? Is there a
I,
particular method
I
that you
usually
use?
put my hands out like as a give. We'll go ahead and pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day that you have given us, that we are able to wake up and rejoice that we are alive and well, and be able to enjoy the little things, which is playing video games with your friends from afar. I don't know why I'm thanking you, Lord, that we're about to play this game. Let this game be a metaphor of how we can get closer to you and be better of who you are. Be better versions of us with your light. Yes, your word is a light unto our feet and a light into my path. And Lord, that I am now still feeling the effects of what hell may be like, because my sauna of a bedroom is a good example, because my AC is still broken. And I pray that you come through and you redeem me and deliver me from the hell of my bedroom.
Oh, that's gonna be us, little barbecue nomies and Tabitha's. Okay.
Oh my gosh, I was gonna hold
Okay, this is not gonna be good. You have somebody who's afraid of heights, even in the first place. Flip off the keyboard. We've only jumped on the first time.
Oh my god!
I'm scared.
How are you feeling? Are you okay? Trust the process. That's us screaming.
Yelling at me.
Thanks for, making our friendship stronger, man. I feel like we've reached a new level here.
Good morning. Good morning. I do feel like we've reached a new level. So it's just really cool watching and revisiting that video because when I look at what I've accomplished now, versus what I did back then, which by the way, that picture is one of my favorite because it just encapsulates everything that you pretty much need to know. About that moment, that dire situation, and to see where I've come now. And we're going to be going even further. It's kind of like what Nomi said in that video, trust the process. And so, good morning, everybody. I'm Dreaming Tabitha. We're here having our little brush hour dream stream, and I'm excited to get going. I am surprised that I'm as chipper as I am because I did not fall asleep until about 3:30 this morning. And then I woke up at 7. So we're living high on life and getting things accomplished. But I had so many things. I've been approached about doing a pretty big art project. Sorry, I can't. What is that? What is it that they do? The NDA. I can't really talk about it. But so that was really exciting. And so naturally, as a creative, as an artist, I could not sleep. And all I could do was think about this, that, and the third. And then as I was lying there, I thought to myself, I should just get up. I should just get up and work. And maybe I should have, but I really was wanting to sleep. And so I found myself in the throes of, I want to say convolution, because I needed sleep. And then I woke up and my face was on fire. Yeah. So fortunately you can't tell, but like my eyes right now are like under the skin around my eyes is all kinds of irritated, and as is around my face and my mouth. And like, what a great way to start the morning. My skin is not happy this morning, but that's okay. We're not here for the skin. We're here for the art, and I'm here for the people. Alicia, good morning, says baby got me up at 6 for once, so might miss this. She usually takes a morning nap, and I try to lay back down with her, but have a good morning. Thank you. Them little urchins, they just don't know what sleep. They just don't. I mean, they do like on their time. They just know what that schedule thing is. They're like cats. They go at the beat of their own drum. DL was here this morning, just loading us down with everything. Appreciate it. I was thinking about that with the book. I see like he's got Lurk and Carl in there, and I want to definitely bring back the book series. We're probably going to have to start that sometime in July. I'm going to be traveling as I'm visiting my father. I'm going to be well, my mom's there too, but like, going to go see some fam. Um in the upcoming days. I am gonna try to take my stuff with me so I can stream, but it just like, with Father's Day having been had and, just with my schedule and stuff like that, it just kinda works out, but, there will be some videos that will be released, while I'm gone, if not, but I will try to keep up with the Joneses. Biggles says, I have set this up so when it goes live, it just starts talking behind me. Careful about the voices that are in your head. Juliet, good afternoon to you. I hope you're doing well. Bless you get tired sooner than yeah, we all get tired. Mad Dog, Conroy says eagle says land the what? I don't know what that means. um Fantastic. I contributed in the harassment for Stevie's ear reveal. You're welcome. I appreciate that. Yes. So, morning, Chaz. Rogi's in the house saying good morning. Oh, good morning. Grape over there on Kick and Know Me Without You. So, babies eventually go to sleep normally once you give them a routine. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I have heard that, and I know people get really irritated about this, but at the same time, there is an element of truth to it where animals and children, doggies and children have similarities where it's like you need a routine. They respond much better to routine. So having not had children, but I have had dogs, but I have babysat a lot. I mean, it was my first job. For many of us, it is that it's like once you get them out of that routine, it like messes everything up. Messes everything up. So you gotta. So Grape says I clean up well. Thank you. That's the power of bright lights and a little bit of mascara. Mm. And the magic of coffee. Okay. I also have my water because I believe in a healthy lifestyle. So all right. If you were here last night, we had a special guest appearance by a Know Me Without You over here. And for those that might not know, I'm just going to kind of quickly recap. I have been doing a series of little comic strips where I chronicle for fun the adventures of my gaming streams over there on Kick, dreaming_Tabitha, if you want to follow along for some nonsense and tons of laughs. Okay. Everybody just laughs at us when we play games. It's a good time. And we were playing Escape the Backrooms, which is just a simple game that is like a thriller, kind of a scary game where you and your team have to try to get from point A to point B, kind of solving a few simple puzzles. But along the way, there are monsters and weird creatures that you have to navigate through these corridors and try not to get eaten or, obliterated, right? And so our recent journey, and again, just to recap, I know a lot of you know this, but there's always that new person in the chat or somebody who hasn't been around for a while. This was my most, not my most recent one. My most recent one was actually with Joe, but this one in this series here, Sevi, Nomi, Moss, and I, this was just one of the things where it encapsulated the moment where there was a monster out in the parking garage and Sevi's just like, Moss will be fine. It's totally fine. Like, whatever. It's okay. And so I have to reveal because I'm really proud of this one. I laugh pretty much every time I see it because I told Joe, I'm like, every time I get to the last panel, I hear the thruster power of the pod racers from episode 1. I just think it's hilarious. And so I've just been chronicling these journeys and just having fun and growing in my skills and my talents. It's actually landed me some job opportunities. So great. Why would I stop? Why would I not keep going? So in today's journey, we've got Moss. We were trying to get from point A to point B, and we had to avoid some security cameras. And Moss was just so confident in his ability to navigate through the maze, the labyrinth of the cubicles, not cuticles. make sure you take care of these too. And that's why I've got this really awesome pose. I can't wait to color this. And Nomi and I were like following him, and he's like, quick, this way. I might change these words, by the way. And so I'm going to put us in this little labyrinth, probably right here, just little miniature versions of us so that you can just get the general idea of what's happening. And then what was funny is that Moss, like, he led us he was like leading us to victory. We were crawling on the floor. We're trying not to get spotted. We're just running for our lives. And when we get to the end where we're supposed to get to, Sevid had already been there for minutes on end. And Moss was like, hello, why didn't you say anything? And she's like, I wanted to see how long it was going to take you to figure it out, because he had such confidence that he could do it. So that's where we're at today. I played around with Sevi with her body language and everything and her setup last night. And I finally put some finishing touches on it. I might change her facial expression, like arch her eyebrows a little bit or something, just to change it up, because I don't want to just copy everything that I've already done, which I kind of am doing with Nomi and myself over here. Although you can see I'm adding a little bit of a change to the body as well. But work smarter, not harder. That's what my grandfather always would say. And I tend to do the complete opposite of that. So I'm going to try to make my grandfather, may he rest in peace, proud of me and try to take on that. I also, another of the many reasons that I was up late last night was, again, just thinking about all different art projects. And I was thinking about this one too. And originally I was, let's see, here we go. Let's get started with our brush hour dream stream. I was going to have like a door over here, and I'm thinking that I need to have moss in here, kind of like over here. Like, how did you get here? Because, when you're creating these little comic strip things, you have to be able to convey a lot of information with as little as possible for it to be really effective. So, for example, like just for people that might be curious, with this picture, you understand that there's a lot of intensity going on up here. You're seeing that you're trying to accomplish something. And then I quickly, again, this is all like summarized. Like, this was over minutes on end, this happenstance. And so to have to try to convey that into a simple one page, if you will, comic strip with just 4 panels was quite the thought process. And I actually went back into my Procreate app. And what's really cool is that Procreate allows you to see how much time you've invested in a project. And so when I went back and I looked at the history, I'm still learning, but I played around with so many different ideas with this one. This panel right here, because I'm not a professional, I'm working on it, but this took me 40 hours. This project right here. Now, maybe if I had had a lot more experience under my belt, it would have taken less. But actually, this one took about the same amount of time as well. One of the reasons being is that, whereas this one of my first ones took me, I think, 8 hours. So you can see the progression. But you'll also notice that it's not quite as detailed as the other ones. But going back to the point of having to convey a lot of information rather quickly takes a lot of thought process. So I think that having moss in here, and maybe with an additional word bubble, would be good. The balance of the composition is a little bit off here, and so I might need to move Sevi and the desk back a little bit, or maybe I just need to change the position of the desk. It's hard to tell. I really like the way that looks, but if I'm going to incorporate moss, because you see over here, there's a lot of dead space. So unless I figure out how to put something there to balance it out, we might readjust. But that's why we have layers. And so there's that. Let me see here. But anyway, let's get going. Let's get started, and let's undo that. So I don't want to get started with coloring until I fleshed out the idea entirely. Let me make sure I've got all the right things going on. But I hope everybody's having a good morning. How are you? Did you sleep well? Did you get a proper night's rest? Oh, remember 1 month like the chat on your channel along with the art. Yeah, we have a good group of folk out here. I Canalist, good morning, by the way. Logical Spark says it's my birthday. I'm 18 with 25 years experience. Happy birthday, Logical Spark. I don't have a happy birthday video clip. All I can say is just
You're a woman with a brain and reasonable ability. Stop whining and find something to do.
Get back to painting, yo.
yeah. Not that you were whining, but Brigetta has gifted one Dreaming Tabitha membership. I am working on a little video for the gifts like this, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I don't have like a one for just that, except for, I mean, why not sprinkle a little bit of it?
I am the one to be your favorite.
Everybody's, Jesus has no favorites, but some people are more special than others. Biggle says, I am still sick, still working, so this is what makes my mornings fun. I hope you feel better, Biggles. That sucks. That totally sucks. Is it the black lung? I hope not. That would be bad. So what's really cool is that we're going to have an additional stream, because there's no way I'm going to be able to finish everything this morning, but we're going to have an additional stream this evening, and we're actually going to be bringing the entire crew of this little comic strip to the channel. So I will make sure that I make the room for that shortly after this stream ends, because I have stuff to do, but we're going to bring them back, and maybe, I'm not exactly sure. Nomi invited all of them on to the channel. She's like, I hope that's okay. It's like, sure. I just, I mean, Moss is a kind of artist, and Sevi's been on the channel doing art before. So I guess we could do art together, but I'm not exactly sure. But we're probably just going to talk and have fun. Close enough, basically the common cold. Yeah, right. When men have the common cold, it's essentially the same thing as the black lung. Absolutely. All right, I have to think here. We're going to go to Sevi's layer really quickly. And I'd actually thought about, Chaz, it should be fun. It should be totally fun. It's always fun when they're here. When anybody else is here, it also kind of helps me. So I'm thinking, let's copy Sevi here, and I'm going to make her look a little weird by getting rid of her eyebrows. It is amazing what eyebrows would do. Maybe we'll just leave this one as it is and redraw this one. So, funny story, I need to get a clip of that. Fantastic. Is there any way I could get a clip of Sevi's ears? Showcase that. Well, Nomi and I were talking last night. Actually, I need to get my references up. 1 second. I'm so sorry. Sevi Love. Let's go to the Instagram. There she is. Beautiful Sevi. Oh, perfect. Look at that. Her eyebrows are very distinct. They're very much like, well, not like that's more like they're like long and then like that, which that was actually pretty good. I wasn't even really trying. All right. So I don't think she kind of has the same pose every time. She doesn't do like a arched brow there. Come on, Sevi, show me some variety. But hey, when you have what works, oh, there we go. Thank you, Sevi. Nomi keeps everyone on their toes. She does. She's like a like internet ninja. You just never know what her next move is going to be. You just never know. All right, let's back up a little bit. And I think I'm going to have her looking up, because again, I don't want to just be a copy and paste of what she's been doing already. So maybe something like this, where she's looking up at, well, wow, don't take it as gospel. People take a little while to figure out. Yeah, she looks really creepy. Hey, it be what it is, Something like that. We'll figure it out, but at least to give us an idea. And then an arched, let's get rid of this. An arched brow, like with Sevi's style. It's always kind of hard to learn how you can do somebody's eyebrow, right? It's not really a problem, but to change it while still being consistent with their shape can be a little bit, you know. Did you find out what Sevi's ears look like? I did. She even it was really funny. Okay, let me try to practice this eyebrow here. How in the world would Sevi's eyebrow look? Let's see. Here we go. So last night on Moon School, because that's where Sevi, Moss, and Nomi had to go to after um, Nomi was here. Uh, it was funny because she's like, Sevi, could you do me a favor? Like giving her no pretext at all. She was like, could you, that looks terrible. She's like, could you show me, could you take off your headphones and show me your ears? And Sevi is great because she accommodated without even asking. She's like, "Okay." And, you know, and then Nomi's like, "Do side to side." And then she's like, "Can you give me a close up?" Like, she went through this whole thing. And she's like, "Why? What is this? What is so weird?" And the chat, like, you guys were awesome because a lot of you went over there and did as I asked and requested and, like, kinda spam the chat and be like, "Show us your ears, lend us your ears." And, like, "What's this all about?" Sevi even, like, messaged and she's like, "I can send you a picture of my ears if you want." And then she's like, I suspect that Tabitha's drawing doing a drawing." Like, "How'd you girl, how'd you know? How did you know?" Let's see. I don't want her to look mean, but it's just, like, Sevi's just so cool because maybe that's the reason why she has a pretty much the similar facial expression in most every picture she posts because she just this is better, but it's still not quite there. Um, she she's just so easygoing. I think her arch needs to go back further. That nothing seems to really phase her. I wonder what that's like. She must live a very peaceful life, especially as being a lawyer. There was one time excuse me, let me read this again. There was one time Epic Mike told me to distract the chat with feet. So I jumped up, showed my feet, fell down, and the chat was distracted. See, it doesn't take much, Biggles. Because see, it's kind of funny the psychology of humans too, because like literally like that's a great example of distraction. Like you don't really need to do a lot. You just need to do something out of the norm. Um Let's see, this is more rounded. All right, so what is the difference between this eyebrow and her other one? Aha, it's lifted up. I just wanted to see so that I'm not being crazy. I like that. It's a little bit condescending. A little bit. A little bit. I might need to there was one thing like the mob psychology is some kind of study. This was a while ago where somebody I don't know, like he hired somebody or he paid someone, whatever the case was, to go outside this one building in the city and stare up at the sky with interest, I guess. Just stare up at the sky. And slowly but surely, more people started, like out of curiosity, they stopped and they were looking up. And I think they were asking questions, but if not, they were all just kind of staring up at the sky until eventually this crowd formed, staring at nothing, thinking they're seeing something, but just seeing nothing, just looking for something that's not even there. And it's just kind of funny. The simplest stuff will distract us because it's out of the normal. It's not normal for people to just jump up and show their feet. Like, toddlers do that, but we get trained as, adults don't do that. All right. I don't mind this. I think that's a little bit condescending, which is perfect. Although I feel like her eyebrow might be a little bit. Let's play around. Let's move it a little bit. Okay, that's pretty good. The lines are a little bit bold, but that's okay because when we do the inking process, it will change. When I met Disparu, says Biggles, he said he will never forget that day. Well, that's how you make an impression, Biggles. Yes, and then everybody's battling out to figure out how to pronounce your name. I like Rogetta. Like, it just sounds gangsta. Like, go get 'em. It's Rogetta. Rogetta in the house. It just sounds a really great name. Okay, so I think we've got Sevi figured out, for the most part. You're basically a toddler. Can confirm. I kicked Bagel. Someone told me I had to kick him at MegaCon, so I have a, photographed proof, right? I have evidence. Okay, so we got Sevi. Um, I love how short her little body is. She kinda looks like a Smurf. Okay, so if this is what we're doing, that maybe what I need to do, because I really like the placement, like the gap between the desk and Sevi, which would be perfect for Moss. But the problem being, again, is all this dead space that is over here. So let's try something. Let's gather all our Sevis up, gather our chair and our desk, and let's. Oh no, what layer is that? All right, I guess we're just gonna gather all of them. What is this layer? What is this? Is this necessary? No, I don't need it. Okay. So what if I scooch Sevi all the way back and then I just complete the depth? I think that would work. What is this layer? Oh, I don't need it. Good. That frees up a layer. All right, so we're gonna come back over here. We're gonna change our color to blue and see if we can. Yeah. Okay, not perfect. You didn't get kicked? Okay, well, nobody asked me to kick you, fantastic. So next time we meet. Biggles, who was it? Was it Mando? Was that who I told you had sent me to kick you? Wow, this looks like a terrible computer screen. But I try to remember, like, it's not gonna be the focal point, and once it gets all pretty and colored and everything, it'll be alright. Um, okay, so but then I need, like, the stand. What do computer stands with this magnitude look like? However I want them to be, I guess. I don't know, something like that. And then the desk, we'll just make it a really nice, massive desk. You know, the kind that we all would love to own, but just cannot afford. This desk includes a mini refrigerator that you cannot see. It has adjustable legs that are electric, and it's self-cleaning. I thought you said Nomi. It might have been Nomi. Part of me thought it was Mando, though. Mando would have said something worse. Well, this she didn't know, our dynamic, and so maybe she just wanted to go light, you know? Where did the dreaming part of dreaming Tabitha come from? Oh, is it lore time? Where did the dreaming part? So when I first signed up for social media, you have to have a username, and I've always I'm a creative person. I didn't wanna just go by Tabitha so and so, and I saw that everybody else had these really cool names, right? And it was just, like, such a really great way to do kind of be, like, expressive, if you will, and I have always been a daydreamer, and I always have had big dreams for myself and my art. And so it just seemed to work, Dreaming Tabitha, and it just kinda sounded good. Like, I don't know, I was never really fond of my name for years either. Um, I was never fond of Tabitha. It's funny because, artists, they wanna be recognized for being unique and being different and stuff like that, and that mindset comes later on, but when I was little, you try to be in with the crowd and everything like that, and, um so Tabitha, nobody'd ever heard that name before, like, nobody knows his name, like, very few people I've ever met in my life that are familiar with the name Tabitha, and, unless it's from Bewitched. Most people don't even know it's in the Bible. Most church people don't even know it's in the Bible. It's really sad, and so, I like my name now, but I didn't growing up because it wasn't like everybody else. There's a whole story behind that too. But no, Juliet, I was named after Tabitha in the Bible, in the book of Acts. Great story, very wonderful story. From a wonderful, wonderful disciple of Christ. But she died and then got brought back to life. Spoiler. But it's a really great story. But anyway, so dreaming Tabitha just kind of sounded good. I know some people say dreaming of Tabitha, dreaming with Tabitha. I don't let D-Day Cobra live that down, Jeremy, since he messed up my name. And so does Michelle from Force of Light Entertainment, dreaming of Tabitha. It's like, I'm not dreaming of myself. I had played around with Tabitha dreaming because that's what I did, but it just didn't sound, I don't know. There's something about it where it's like, you kind of want to give off what you do, but you don't want it to be a sentence. Does that make sense? I didn't want it to be a sentence. I wanted it to be a name, dreaming Tabitha. And so here I am, and that's how people know me. And it was really cool because at one of the conventions last year, it was in Tennessee, and okay, like this was a big moment for me. Okay, I'm working one of the booths. I'm working one of the tables, and this young girl, I don't know, maybe she's watching. I forget her name. I follow her on Instagram, but at the moment I forget her name. She came over to me and she's like, "Are you dreaming Tabitha?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "I've been following you for years." This was really cool. The reason why this is so cool. Okay. I mean, obviously it's super cool when someone kind of remembers, knows who you are, recognizes you. But what was really cool was that she knew me for me. She didn't know me for all the people that I know. What we call the fellowship, the circle, whatever, the community, whatever you want to know. She didn't know me because, I've met Krista Noah. She doesn't know me because I've met Drunk 3PO. She doesn't know me because Force of Light Entertainment. She doesn't know me for all these things. She knew me for me. She followed my channel for me, from what I understand. And that was amazing. Like, me. She knew me because of me, not because of other people. Wow. Yeah, like I've never heard that before. Sarcastic. Yeah, fantastic sarcastic. Yeah, like that was another reason I didn't like my name growing up, is because kids are mean. That's like the Greek. I want to say. I think it's the Greek term or name. It's supposed to mean like gazelle or graceful. I inherited neither part of my namesake there. Staccato is in the house. Good morning, Staccato DDS. How are you? How's the fam? How's everybody doing? Maria is in the house saying hello, hello, hello. Always the dreamer. Yep, always. I never stop. That's why I went to bed at 3:30 a.m. Because I couldn't stop this brain going. Tabitha dreaming with a metal intro. It's not really my jam. Tommy J. Tabitha's the best female name of all time. Are you named after Tabitha Stevens? I don't even know who that is. I've only ever met one other Tabitha in my life. And we had the same conversation. Tommy J, thank you for commenting. We always, it's the joke about having the uncommon names is that you'll never be able to find it on a keychain. So that made you feel like you weren't part of the crowd. It made you feel like you didn't belong. All this kind of stuff. So I kind of wonder if I need to have, because this game is kind of creepy, trying to get back to my artwork here, if I need to have like the room kind of, because the whole game is like this weird uncanny valley, uncomfortable, disorientation kind of thing. And so I kind of wonder if I should go that route. Let's erase some stuff. Let's practice. By the way, let's clock in. Of course, it doesn't count. Part of it is really hard to, when it comes to the time frame of these things. Statistics. Let's go to the statistics. I've so far spent 5 hours on this. I did dedicate a lot of time to it yesterday. So this is 5 hours. Now normally when I make just one chibi, that's about 5 to 8 hours. Just one chibi, depending again on the dynamicism. This is the new word for the channel, but depending on the dynamicism of the chibi. JPS, good morning. I love the N7. Mass Effect forever. Shepard will always be my captain. You're in America right now. Good. Good. Hopefully you're getting sworn in. Hopefully you're converting and joining us over here. I hate clowns. And since my real name is a name of a famous clown, your name is Bozo? Wow. People call me the name which made me not hate the clown. I've never once found my in real life name on anything. Yeah, so you're part of the club. Oh, I adopted a puppy from a rescue vet on Saturday. Very random, but I know it was arranged by beloved Django. Right? Was it Dijon? I can't remember. I remember your dog had a unique name. I just can't remember if the D is silent or not. Is in dog. I wanted to ask, but I didn't want to bring up any hard feelings, But I'm so glad that your puppy is now safely across the rainbow bridge and that you have a new member of the family, Staccato. Oh, puppies. I love puppies. I love dogs. I just love dogs. It doesn't matter. They could be puppies. They could be old dogs. I love them all. I love them all. They're wonderful. Good for you. Happy for you and the family. I'm sad that the dog had to pass. We all know that's an inevitable part of life, but I hope it was a peaceful passing, and I'm so glad that he was surrounded by love. Yeah. I was named Matthew from the Bible as well, Tabitha. Matthew was a tax collector. Boom, do, 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 do. God save both shepherds. That's right. Yeah, I never played as the male. I never did it. Obviously. Tabitha Stevens is the name of one of the most famous TV characters of all time, Bewitched. Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know that was her last name. She sounded like a rock star. My name is so common. That'll probably find 50 people in 20-mile radius. Yeah. Well, especially with your heritage, Maria. Yeah. All right. So I don't know that I like that this angle here. So I wonder if I raise it. I wonder if that would be. I think this is better. And then if we had a little wee moss going. All right. So we're nearing the end of the sketch phase. But when I say that, it's all right. So now we're gonna go back to blue. Let's change it just slightly. And I'm not going to make a too detailed moss. He's just kind of in the background because I need to leave space for the bubble. So maybe we will have to move Sevi over some more. But I'm going to do this. And he's going to be kind of crouching. Let's see. We got to put his cake back here. If you don't know why it says we're having cake in the back rooms, it's because of this thing right back here. If you saw last night's stream, we gave Moss some cake. Why? I don't know. Let's see. I don't know how to draw this pose. I'm gonna have to see. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Staccato DDS has generously, which is not a word, generously given us 20 Dreaming Tabitha memberships. You know what that means? Grab your napkins, guys. Till my heart's desire. Now part of the top 20 people in the chat. Staccato snaps. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciate that. I see Isom Impact over there on Kick. Hello to you, Isom Impact. He is also a creator. Isom Impact, could you summarize for us what exactly you do? Like, I think I'm gonna butcher it if I try to. But Staccato, thank you so much for giving to the channel. Thank you everybody else that what was my words? I lost my words. I was looking at something. Anyway.
Let's get back to painting, y'all.
Let's get back to painting. Sorry. Thank you, Staccato DDS. The chicken looked really good. Now I'm hungry. That's the point. So it's messaging, subliminal messaging. All right. I know I haven't had breakfast yet either. I'm just living off of water, coffee, and a prayer. Okay. Let's lock it in. I need a clip of Beardo. Maybe I need to make like a little chibi thing and get like and then get the voice recording of Beardo saying lock it in. You know, lock it in. All right. So real quickly, just a little shameless plug for Isom Impact, who does have a YouTube channel. I turn games into a cinematic experience, basically. Add my own bit of storytelling through gaming as a form of cinematic fan fiction. Super cool. I just ate chicken, so I'm good. Chicken for breakfast? Ain't you the man? All right. I need to look for a reference. Otherwise, I'm going to make Moss look like he's going to the bathroom on the floor. That's not what we're looking for. So, like, how about shocked chibi pose? Oh, this one's good. Wow, that was fast. I need full body though. I can kind of see it in my mind, but I want it to be like the what? You know, with hands up. What? What? Where'd he go? Where'd she go? Is this the one? That's not the one. Is it? Shoot. There you are. Maybe we'll just take this pose. You're my pleasure, Isom Impact. You had chicken last night. I had pork chops last night. Everybody having chicken. Man, fried chicken would be really good. Maybe I'll take Staccato's generosity, and get some chicken. Okay. All right. A moment of silence for creativity. Here we go. That's a really big Pinocchio ear. Something like this. Okay. Oh, but oh. Okay, let's try something different. You're going to hear me muttering, okay? I say a moment of silence. That means that I'm not going to talk to you guys for a little bit. I want to just talk to myself, quite literally. So it's inverted. And then his leg. It's not exactly the pose that I was going for, so we have to see if this worked. So it's like leg goes in this way. It's kind of like a bashful pose. Interesting. But I have some really cool things coming to the channel, by the way, even though I said moment of silence for concentration and word creativity, but I can't wait to share some news with you. I just got to get a couple of things organized. But no, you're the real one, Isom Impact. Hey, we creators got to stick together. It's rough out there. All right. This is a pose I've never done before, so it's going to look very janky, but like I know I keep saying like great things are coming, but that's because progress is being made, guys. So I will go ahead and throw this out there that your support to the channel is supporting future projects. I wish I could be a little bit more transparent, but I can't at the moment. But I want to thank you for your support, your liking, subscribing, watching, all great giving. This is the worst foot in the world. What is that? It just literally goes off into the nether. There we go. Okay, we'll work with it. This is a new pose, so we're gonna see where it takes us. Let's just be willing to explore. Good morning, Luke. How are you? Raising cat. I've never had this chicken. But let's just kind of see where it takes us. Actually, I was trying to talk about that last night. in this book that I'm reading, where it just there was this moment, I'm starting to read about, like, read the biographies or memoirs or whatever like that of successful people. It's curious and just interesting and successful people. And, really, it doesn't even matter what side of the fence you are on, like, politically, religiously. I'm just curious. Like, it's really interesting to see how people live their lives. And I've been reading this one, Melania, which, by the way, terrible dust jacket. Like, look at that. That's nasty. Okay. Whatever the stuff that they put on the I hate it so much. I mean, this is a really sleek looking book, and then you go and put that kinda dust jacket on it, nasty. But there was a moment that kinda stuck out to me where she was talking about her life before all the fame and fortune. She was just starting to go to school, like, to go to college and, the secondary school, as they call it. And just this moment right here where Mrs. Trump, Melania said, but by the way, it doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on, like, this is very interesting to read about people's lives and how they got where they got to. But she just got, like, an invitation to do a real, photo shoot for modeling, but that was never on her agenda, okay? She was actually going to college for architecture and design. So proof that not all models don't have brain cells, right? And this thing right here, it just, like, spoke to me in such volumes where she got the opportunity to go to a fashion show that was in Italy, and it was a contest, and just was not on her radar and she had no interest in doing it, but it says here, "While I had never considered a film career, the competition seemed worth exploring." And I know we've probably all have heard things like that before, but that just spoke to me. It's like, in the grand again, you don't have to agree with her, you don't have to like her, but the general principle, the general idea of, like, just because it's not on your radar doesn't mean it's not worth exploring. And as I've gotten older, it's like, okay, take some risks. Go outside the comfort zone. Try it. You don't have to stick with it, but you can always try it, which is how I end up doing chibis all the time. I was never really into chibis. Chibis were not on my radar. I wanted to be a professional portrait painter, which one day I'm going to showcase to you this really amazing portrait I did of Dan Vasc because I can paint. I can draw in real life. It's phenomenal. I'm like amazed when I look at this portrait, and he's just well, it's a terrible picture, but it's an amazing painting. But that's because he sent me this really ridiculous picture to paint of him. I'm like, I wanted a regal, majestic painting. Then we got this exotic, handsome man from Brazil, and he sends me a horrible picture of himself to paint. And I'm like, you know what? Challenge accepted. But anyway, I just kinda going to show, like, just kind of trying. Like, I'd never considered it, but I gave it a try. I know it's pretty fundamental, but that's what it was. I never considered it, but it seemed worth exploring, and I might just put that on my wall somewhere at some point. Um, Horror with nods. Hi. Look at the little belly pouch. I know. We're supposed to be having cake this morning, but we might have to tone down the cake with I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Um I love chibis, they're my favorite, and I'm awful at them, and well, we're gonna fix that. We're gonna fix that, Biggles. Biggles is gonna come on the channel, and I'm gonna teach him how to draw chibis. Alright. The first rule of chibis, for me anyway, draw a circle. So, there you go. And then I draw the cheeks. Like, I flesh out, like, the location of things, so that makes it the important parts right here. I say the important parts, but it's like the parts that people notice the most right here, this vicinity, okay? You can't really know where to put all of these until you know where this and these are, at least for me. Some people draw the nose first and that helps them, but I find for me, drawing the chin, drawing the ears helps me figure out where everything else needs to go. And so maybe you want to try that in your own work. I don't say this for portrait drawing, but for caricatures and for chibis, highly recommend. All right, so he's going to be defeated like. Oh, wait, we gotta get this. How are you, Nadia? Though I gotta get you back on the channel, but you're so busy doing your Stranger Things reviews. If you guys don't know, if you guys enjoy horror movie reviews and just TV shows and things like that, you should totally check out Nadia's channel. She's a lovely lady. She's beautiful, by the way. Like, she's beautiful. I mean, okay, don't tell Sebi because she's my totally straight heterosexual girl crush on the internet, but Nadia comes in close. She's really beautiful. That's not weird, okay? I'm an artist. I'm allowed to say things like this that could be otherwise twisted into controversial conversations. All right, so I'm going to, and then we just see how far I've come with my chibis is that I've now started to give them fingers. Before it was just solely dedicated to the mittens. But here we are. I like to use the eyebrows and the ear tops. Yeah, I don't do the eyebrows typically until later because I need to know where my shape of my eyes are. But that's again, everybody's got their dangerous talking about cheeks right after the cake. Hey, it is what it is. I thought that you were still talking about cake when you said you draw the cheeks. Hey, All right, so let's just well, we're gonna just first give him the mittens. So I can see if I like where this is going. Whenever I draw Dragon Ball Z, I could start with the nose sometimes. Everybody's got their method. I don't know why I'm giving Moss such long Neanderthal arms, but here we are. But this is just to see, oops, is this the route we want to go? We're going to fix Moss and make him look Matafan. But we need to first figure out, is it cake? This isn't exactly the pose. I wanted it to be more freaking out. I wanted him to be freaking out a little more. Let me look at this. I was telling Nomi too that I was talking to her about the book, this one here with the terrible dust jacket. I hate dust jackets, by the way. I don't care what it's made out of. I freaking hate dust jackets. Okay, can we bring back books that were made with fabric, please? I will pay the $12 or whatever. Bring back better made books, please. And I told her, I said, this is a fascinating read and I'm really enjoying it. However, and maybe it's because people like her, uber successful people way up here on the status bar of life, the ladder of life. But I'm noticing that, oh, here we go. But it's funny that she's never really talking about anything negative in her life. And it's just kind of funny because like she's not saying that her life was perfect, but she never talks about the negative things that happened in her life. It's fascinating because I wonder if this is just the mindset of the rich and famous and the successful. Okay. Because I hear that a lot and I read that a lot where it's like, what you focus on, what you talk about a lot is where you're going to be set to go. It's where you stay. It's where you focus. And so I wonder if people like her, because it's, I noticed like this very much an air of confidence in this memoir. And it's a little bit annoying because it doesn't feel real. But again, these people are in a different plane of thinking than most you and I are. And I do find it fascinating, but it's like even when she's talking about like her pregnancy with Baron, instead like there's not it's just funny because it's like when I found out I was pregnant, I was just so overjoyed. Donald and I were, it's just so weird for somebody to refer to the president as just plain Donald, and be like referring to Harrison Ford as just Harrison. But she's like, when Donald and I found out that we were expecting, it was just we're so overwhelmed with joy and gratitude, which is wonderful and beautiful, and I'm glad that they were. But then she kind of briefly talks about her life being pregnant, and she's like, except for struggling with morning sickness the first 3 months or whatever, it was a wonderful time. It was a wonderful time. I really enjoyed it. It showcased how beautiful the woman's body is, and it just showed how great it is to be a lady and give life to the world. Like, all of this is true, but there was, like, nothing relatable in the normal for this. Like, there's just like, the absence of struggle. Now, this woman struggled to get to where she is, but there's no mention of like, there's no let me put it this way, it's not that there's no mention, there's no focus. And so while I think that's funny, a little bit annoying because it seems so unrealistic, I just wonder if that's the mindset that people like her and her husband and many other grossly successful people are, where it's like, I don't have time to focus and talk about the things that I struggled with, unless you get into a real deep dive, but it's like, I don't focus on the things that I struggled with. I acknowledge that they were there, but minimally. 'Cause she will very much talk about the successes that she had. I mean, that like, the ratio is out of proportion, like, as far as talking points, everything that she achieved and successful and accomplished is up here. Everything that was a struggle, like this. It's not that she doesn't mention it, but she definitely doesn't go into it. Um, Alicia Okay, hang on. We gotta say this loud. People who don't say pregnancy sucks are lying to themselves. I mean, I do know some people that enjoyed being pregnant, but they also do mention that it was a struggle. It was hard, but I mean, maybe Melania is one of those few people where it's like it was very easy for her, but nonetheless, like, there is no mention about when she talks about her body changing, there was, like, no mention of, "I regretted that I would never," or, I realized I would never be the same size that I was. I realized that stretch marks were a part of my life now." There was nothing like that. It literally was just this very glamorous perspective, which maybe, again, that just has to do with her mindset because she doesn't think like the average person, which is what has gotten her to where she is today. So I can't I can't condemn her for that because if that's the case, then that's wonderful, but that's hard. But it's kind of funny because like Malaysia's saying, like that's a hard process for anybody to go through, and Melania paints it like it was, sorry, there's a fly. I'm working on it. They're one day you're not gonna see me do this anymore. Um, I've got my little cup full of vinegar, like, we're killing them left and right. But it's like, yeah, she just like, as I saw my body change, I was inspired by all the women who've come before me, and realized that this majestic process was the epitome of the female experience. While all of that is true, it's just funny. Like, I'm cringing a little bit while I read through certain portions of her life. But then when she talks again about certain other things and the successes that she finds, very detailed, very uplifting, very no nonsense. It's so funny. Like, even when she was a teenager, like, the confidence, you can just tell that her and her husband very much similar. Um, the confidence with which she writes about her life very much echoes the way that you can see that President Trump, um, echoes in his life, where it's like they don't focus on the negative, and everything they do is magic, and not because they are all powerful, but because I heard somebody else, this is fascinating too, this isn't just like Trump mindset, this is successful people mindset. I forget who it was that was saying that, oh shoot, it left me, it was so good. Let's backtrack a little bit. Um They don't focus on, "Oh, shoot, it was so good, guys. I knew I should have stopped talking and just acknowledged it." Oh, no. Women are okay, well, that's not true at all. That's not true at all. Perhaps it's Slavic mentality, just keep moving. Well, I think that that's a lot of European mindset. They're getting soft now, but they weren't quite as soft as the way that we are around these her parts, or at least the way we are now, I think used to be. I can agree with the mindset thing, but every woman's hips hurt every morning. We even got a fancy mattress to help, and I was still in so much pain. Well, yeah, and that's what I'm saying, like, just doesn't focus on it, and, I really wish I could remember that point that I was just about to say because it was phenomenal, and now I'll never remember it. Very detailed, very uplifting, um, the confidence. That's what it was, just going into it with confidence, like, she doesn't even when she talks about her teenage years. Oh, that's what it was. Okay, say what you will, whatever, Dreaming Tabitha, we here, we try to keep it family friendly, but we're not afraid of hard topics, we're not afraid of hard conversations. I was listening to Blair White as he was discussing, um, oh, shoot, certain things that were going on in the government, but there was, like, kind of like this moment where the conversation drifted. He made this statement that stuck with me, even though I have a hard time remembering it. Obviously, it's not at the forefront of my brain. But he said, "I am very good at knowing what I am and am not good at." And that's what gives him the confidence to be who he is or his mindset. And that is something that I'm noticing in, like, in this book with Melania. And I know we're not even drawing anymore. Um, that is what I've noticed is that you can get better at things. I think he said that as well. He's like, "Yeah, I could totally study a book and take a course and whatever," but he's like, "With my personality, who I am, how I think, how I organize and structure my life, I know what I am and am not good at, and so why would I take attention away from what I'm good at to try to be something that I have no interest in or whatever?" And it's like, that is something that I need to learn and I wanna take to heart because sometimes, if you have low self-esteem or low confidence, you will try to be good at everything, hoping that something sticks instead of focusing on the things that you're good at and trying to compare yourself to other people. It's a really hard lesson to learn, but, um, it it was just mind-blowing where it's like, yeah, there is a difference between, testing out new things just to see where it might go, like I was talking about with my TVs, versus trying to do everything because you just don't know what you're good at, because you're not focusing on the things that you like, and just knowing the confidence of, "I am gifted in this." And I think a lot of times too, we're taught to be humble and everything, and that's good, we're supposed to be. But the being humble doesn't mean being a doormat. Being humble doesn't mean a lack of confidence. I mean, the Bible even says, being confident of this very thing, which I know it's a slightly different subject as far as what you're confident in, but it's just the point is, the Bible says, being confident of this very thing, which he which hath begun a good work in you will perform it until the day of Jesus Christ. I believe that's talking about the spiritual growth, spiritual life. But the point is that the Bible teaches us that we can be confident. Confidence is not the absence of humility. I think that's where we kinda get it messed up, and so I'm trying to do that too. My best friend and I talk about this all the time where, like, we know that we're good at things, but we struggle with acknowledging it or even saying it out loud because you feel like you're being conceited or arrogant, and it's like, that's not true. If people know who you are, and I would say the same thing about our president, his wife, and many others, where it definitely, and I'm not saying he's not arrogant because he totally is, but there is a level where their confidence is just not, it's not arrogance, it's just, "I'm good at what I do," and there's no shame in that. I follow this one lady on YouTube, Tracy Hensel. You could say that she maybe is arrogant, but she's not. She's just super confident. She's a life coach, she has good advice, she takes care of herself, she knows what she's good at, and that's what she pursues. And, it's just something that's admirable. Maybe you should have it where he's scratching his head. Oh my word, is that Justin Proper? Is that honorable trash in my chat? It's about time we got this place filled with some honorable trash. Too many good people in here. We gotta mix things up. Alright, so alright, get the mittens. Is that the right, hang on. Nope, nope, thumb would be on the other side. There we go, yeah. And then if we had, like, a crazy mouth, let's see, if you're like, "Ah," do a crazy expression. Sometimes I literally will stare at myself, like, and, like, do these weird poses so that I alright, so if I was like alright, so this eyebrow kinda swoops down, and this one kinda goes up a little bit. There we go. That kinda works. Oh, let's just kinda give ourselves an idea. It's not dramatic enough, though. That's the problem. So anyway, this mindset is really cool. It's a really interesting read. Yeah, I like the upper body portion, not a big fan of the bottom. It doesn't accentuate the curves in the right place. Um, no, but it doesn't convey the powerful emotion evoked. Something like this, a little bit better. I might need to make him smaller because it's kind of taking away from Sevi, but no joke, I use honorable trash as a category for every tiered list I make on other channels. As you should, Justin. Be proud of who you are. What are we talking just talking about? Go with it with confidence. Honorable trash. Honestly, it's like you think about like Dolly Parton for years. That's what her brand is made of. She makes no buts about the fact that her childhood role model, who she aspired to look like, maybe not be, but definitely who she aspired to look like, was the town tramp. I mean, that's just part of her story. And she's like, I thought she was beautiful. That's who I wanted to look like. I'm aware that she looks like trash. I'm aware that she was a scoundrel of the village, but this is how it is. And I don't advocate for looking like trash, but nevertheless, the mindset was like, and she also knew she was good at singing. She knew she was good at being happy around other people, and, like, this is just what she pursued. Like, that's just what she pursued. She owned it. She knew who she was, and that's the thing too. It's kinda like what, Eleanor Roosevelt says, like, "Nobody can make you feel small except for you." Nobody you give people permission, is what she says. If you're, I think that will work because then I have to put the bubble in there somewhere. If you let other people belittle you, it's because they have your permission to do so. And so you have somebody as confident, again, and just going back to Trump, for example, but if you have somebody like him and you're like, hey, you're kind of arrogant, you're kind of a douchebag. I think a part of him I was like, yeah, but I'm rich and successful. I got to where I am by hard work. Nobody can take that away from you. And so it doesn't bother you. It's just like water off of a duck's back. And the same thing with Dolly Parton. You can't shame her for how she looks because she acknowledges exactly what she looks like. And she's like, whatever. What are you gonna do about it? Cry harder. She's like, here, let me give you a dollar bill to wipe your tears. Like, have I posted any of my portraits yet? You mean like my painted ones? I haven't painted in a year. It's how long it's been since I started this Dan Basque painting, and I look at it all the time, and I'm like, "I need to finish it," but it's just like, I gotta get back in the swing of things, and I'm a little bit scared to start it. It's almost done! It is almost finished. All I gotta do is put the little wispy details of hair around his head, and then touch up or I gotta fix his hand, and then any last minute things that I might need to adjust, but overall, I think it's just his hand and the little wispy details of his hair, and I'm done. It's beautiful looking, but I just haven't finished it yet. You still owe me an honorable trash bumper sticker. Make it a decal or a magnet. I'll slap that thing on my car. Um, I despise country music, but Dolly Parton is a national treasure. Absolutely. I like her country music and I like Patsy Cline. Give me some of that old stuff, this new stuff, whatever. What's with the cast on your hand? This just shows what kind of trash you are, Justin. Okay. You don't know nothing. It's not a cast, it's a glove. It's a digital drawing glove. So I tease. So this glove is to keep your iPad or your screen from recognizing the touch of your flesh, so it doesn't get confused between your skin, the contact of your skin, and the tip of your pencil, right? So that way, if you want to rest, it just glides over and it doesn't acknowledge that your hand is resting on it. Otherwise, when you try to draw with it without it, a lot of times you'll notice there'll be specks and draw lines driven all over the place because it was acknowledging the sensors were acknowledging your hand instead of the pencil. All right. So I think I've got a good pose for Moss, but I just have to then now I've got to refine it. So we have gone a little bit over the brush hour, but here we go. Lauren, time to put some cake on it. Just a little bit right back there. Poor Moss. I hope you guys understand, like, this is a joke. Now, Moss is a very athletic individual, and he takes good care of himself. We are teasing. No, we're not thirsting after him. And I want to try to draw a fine line between that and, like, because I understand people like, you can't do that with women. Some of it, honestly, like when I first started drawing, it's a joke now, but like when I first started drawing, it was to be somewhat accurate. Like when you draw characters like this, you find little things about them that you add in there to make it look more realistic. The same thing with like Sevi has. If anybody sees Sevi streaming, you can see she has very big eyelashes. Right. And so that's just a part of what you see when you look at her. So this is what I include in the picture, all this kind of stuff. I mean, it's the same thing like putting the dark hair on Nomi. It makes sense because that's who she is, I just thought she was Gucci. What does that mean? That's one of those new kiddo slang things for good, right? Now we need to refine Moss over here, I think we have the pose. This is what I was going for. So now we're going to clean house. But anyway, is anybody reading any good books lately? I am finding it fascinating learning about our first lady. And I didn't used to be into biographies and things like that. I think a lot of people go through that phase and then you get older and you're like, this person's interesting. I still haven't finished Return of the Jedi. I started it. And it's... Wait. Not Return of the Jedi. Did I finish? I'm either finishing up The Empire Strikes Back or I started Return of the Jedi. The book, by the way. Because I want to be a real fan. Okay, not these posers who've never read the books. And then I bought in the beginning of the year, I bought Around the World in 80 Days. Wait, is it 80 days? Yeah, Around the World in 80 Days. So I really would like to read that. I've got with a beautiful hardback cover, and it's really pretty. The glove, Gucci, is it good? Yeah, it's great. Somebody bought this for me off of my Amazon wish list. If anybody cares to know, it's in the description box. I just recently got a whole bunch of like amazing paper and markers and stuff like that from my wonderful subscribers. But it's got cute little doggies on it. Look at that. So cute. I need to wash it. And it's already starting to wear out because I use it all the time. I was gonna say, there's no way you're finishing watching. No. I've seen all of the Star Wars, unfortunately, but all the Star Wars. But I've never read the books. The books are amazing. Highly recommend. They're so good, man. And Aunt Beru laying some cold hard facts, like some awesome tidbits in the first one, and like there's just so many good parts to these stories. All right, Moss is looking a little more deflated now because he's so right over here he's like ripped and great, all this kind of stuff. But over here, we're because that's part of the persona of telling the story as well. Not that he's not, but it's just giving him a little bit more of a superhero figure kind of helps with the storytelling. Now I'm making him a little more deflated, so he won't be quite as dynamic, which just goes into the storytelling process. Hey, Nigel says, started rereading Dune after the recent release of the Dune Awakening game. Got me in the Dune mood again. I wouldn't mind reading it. I heard it's kind of a hard read. There's a lot, there's a lot of like political nuances and whatever. But it's like, well, if you can read the Wheel of Time series, it's probably, you know, Spaceballs 2? Yeah, I saw the trailer for it. Who knows what that's gonna be like? I don't know what they can get away with these days, but we'll see. I'm reading Shark Life by Peter Benchley. He wrote Jaws, which I also read. The movie is better, semi-autobiographical, and encapsulates his life. I would like to read Jurassic Park. I heard that the movie is very off from the book, so I wouldn't mind reading that. I was going to get the I love to read, but I love to draw and I love to listen to stories at the same time. Um so I know Nadia really liked the tummy, but it you know, got to change things up, you know. Moss put the work in, so it's, you know. But I like to listen to audiobooks, so I just recently got one. Um I wish you could kinda rent the audiobooks because some of them, it's like, "Well, okay, I didn't like this, but I spent $20 on it." So, Audible is my main squeeze there. But I listen to the same stories, let's see, over and over again. I've been listening to Sammy Keys for years. And I just got Sammy Keys and the Skeleton Man, something like that. They're just like children's mysteries, but they're fun, easy listening, stuff I can fall asleep to, or that they're interesting enough that um, it keeps my mind focused on work. Surprisingly, having a distraction keeps me focused. So it's almost like I have to have a dedicated distraction. Sometimes I have TV on. It needs to be a show that I kind of already know what the premise is, or like I've seen it before or something like that, so that I don't get distracted from my work, but I can kind of see it in my head, just like with the audiobooks. All right, we're supposed to add fingers here. We don't have to, but let's see, how am I going to add fingers to this kind of pose? All right, so working on a very small scale here. I only ever give my chibis 4 fingers anyway, so it's okay. Why, you ask? It's a secret. I hate drawing hands. For some reason, 4 fingers, you ask anybody, 4 fingers are easier than 5. I kind of forget that you guys can't hear the music that I'm listening to right now. Listening to some chill cottage vibes. I wish you could preview audiobooks to make sure the voice is decent. Sometimes, you can. In audibles, they give you a sample. They give you a sample to listen to. That's what I do. Excuse me. I am not buying a book if I don't know what the person sounds like. Not doing it. Hank the Cowdog? Yes. I've listened to him many, many times. Watermelon, 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 black-eyed peas. Cantaloupe, black-eyed peas. Rip and snort. Shred cow dog 2 pieces. Oh boy. That's such good stories. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that just doesn't make any sense. But yeah, Chaz, I think this statement can be said by every person on the planet. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, definitely always try it for yourself, always. I'm scared to read Dune. I tried rereading Lord of the Rings, and it was way too advanced for my 9-year-old brain, so I chose Harry Potter instead. Lord of the Rings is great, but you gotta dedicate some focus to it for sure. You don't have Audible? Okay, well, then that's your first problem, Justin. No, but you can actually find some audiobooks now on YouTube. I love the Wheel of Time series, and I found that Michael Kramer, the best voice actor for the Wheel of Time series, I don't remember what the channel's name is, but I'm pretty sure if you type in, if you're interested in that, Wheel of Time, Michael Kramer audiobook, you'll find it, and they have the whole thing there. And so I saved that because I plan to listen to that all again. I've been listening to that for years. It's my favorite book in the entire series. Of course it is, because the origin story, it still scares me to this day when they get to oh, it's not Arendelle. Is that what it's called? That's where Anna and Elsa live. Shardar Logoth, but that was the evil name that they gave it. I don't remember what the real name is. Is the Wheel Time show any good? No, it's absolutely trash. It's not even honorable trash. This is smut trash. Don't even give it a chance. Now, I am the person that advocates for watch it, make up your own mind. And hey, you want to enjoy it, do it. It is a disgrace. It is an absolute disgrace to Robert Jordan's work. I don't want to talk about it. Let's see. So usually you get like something like this. What I hate about audiobooks, if you get into listening to a series and then they change the person reading, yeah, you always run that risk. Of course. So that's kind of like the Harry Potter series with Jim Dale. He reads all of them. You do your research. Michael Kramer and Kate Redding, they read the entire Wheel of Time series. From what I'm understanding, at least they did all the way up to like book 8 or 9. I'm pretty sure they finished it out though. Okay, I'm bending his fingers backwards. Poor Moss. Tara Sands reads the entire Sammy Keys series. I only listen to Barbara Rosenblatt when I listen to the Amelia Peabody series from Elizabeth Peters. I am also particular if I'm listening to Agatha Christie, what kind of British person is reading this, I'm particular with my, let's see, what else? Who else I got going on over here? I primarily listen to Sammy Keys right now, but Winnie the Pooh. I'm very particular with my Winnie the Pooh. It needs to be read by Peter Dennis or bust. That's it. I will not listen to anybody. Part of that is just because I've been listening to that audiobook since I was 6. I'm not even joking. It's my favorite audiobook to fall asleep to listen to. It never gets old. I love it. You have such a soothing voice. I would definitely listen to any audiobook you recorded. Thank you, Grape. Maybe that's be in the works in the future. All right, so you gotta, how do we, something like that, yeah. And then we just kind of add the fingers to it. Yeah, I think we figured it out. I mean, it's kind of ugly, but I think we figured it out. It ain't meant to necessarily be pretty. Oh man, my eyes. The skin around my eyes is so irritated right now. All right, so let's make it a little bit. There we go. Stand out a little bit more. Yeah, that works. My dream home would have a dedicated cozy reading room with a wall of books, of course. And then you've got to have the sliding ladder. You've got to. By the way, if you don't know, I am going to be closing down my Etsy shop and opening a new shop that's going to be linked to my YouTube channel. It's already open. They don't have a lot in there, but there's going to be stuff going up in there. I don't know if it's listed. Yeah, it's listed down below. You can get, if you haven't seen my How to Train Your Dragon video, do me a solid and watch that. But you also have, there is also a poster that I made that you can buy. And then I also have, let's see. I also have a shirt coming in. Just kind of, I don't have it listed. I should, or as far as like up on the picture here. But some people have expressed interest in my little chibi comics, so those will probably be coming, just like maybe limited time. But more stuff's going to be coming. So I'm switching over from Etsy. So if you had any interest of getting anything on my Etsy shop, please hold, as I will be putting it on the fourth wall. What does my mug say? It says not paint water. I got this as a gift a couple years ago. My nerdy home gave it to me, actually. And I told her, I'm like, thank you so much for this mug. You don't know how beneficial this is, because it has happened when painting. So easy to get it messed up. You hope to buy more Etsy, but it depends on the subject. Always does, doesn't it? Always does. Okay. All right. Mouse. So you're going to be wearing, got to get his baseball hat on there. I wonder if I could cheat the system again. Do what old grandpa said once. We're going to steal this. Oops. Just to trace over. I'm allowed to do it. It's my own art. And kind of a great face to use. So Moss, what if we just slipped you right in there? I'm going to duplicate this, and then I'm going to undo that. Do this. I know, right, Justin? Hey, Biggles. All right, let's just go ahead and just copy what we see here, because it's kind of the perfect expression. So I don't have to spend as much time trying to figure out and reconfigure everything. Imagining the face I made, when I drank the water. It's so funny because I used to tell my clients, like when I would teach my students, when I would teach them and teach adults how to paint, I'm like, now make sure you put your water on this side that you're drinking out of, and your water that you paint out of here over here, because it's so easy to get it messed up, and muscle memory will kick in. I was like, don't put them next to each other. Don't do it. And it's only happened once that okay, so if I'm not mistaken, I don't know that I've ever actually drank out of it. So the problem with me is not so much that I have tasted paint water. The problem was that I have several times cleaned my brushes in my coffee or my beverage of choice. So that's the problem. It's not so much that I have drunk the coffee or drunk the paint water. It's that I have cleaned my brushes and ruined a good beverage. On stream, no. Not on stream, but in person when I taught, yes. Several times. So funny watching their faces. All this and then they excuse themselves and go to the bathroom. I just spit everything. So, all right, here we go. Mauge. I think this is the perfect expression. I think it's just kind of like Sevi. We'll modify it as we go, so it's not like an exact copy. I don't know why I feel like I need to defend that, because it's my drawing. I can do whatever the freak I want to. It's not like this is like published works or something or whatever. But But I don't know. I feel like there needs to be a certain kind of something. Yeah, see, we're going to just make his hair slightly different. Apparently, Moss has a beard, and I forgot to put it on him, but I kind of like him without it. So I have to play around with that and see if I want to do that. Oh. Which I don't know. It's so bizarre because that is an attribute, a characteristic of his face that he does have. But somehow I'm like, no, I don't want to put it there. I don't think it looks like Moss if I give him a beard, something that he actually has on his face. And I guess because he's blonde, everybody says he's ginger. I see him as blonde, that I don't see it quite as much. And I've only met Moss in person one time. And so some details, you kind of forget. But I hope everybody's having a great day. I am going to have to get busy here in a second because we have gone over the brush hour. And then I've got a lot to do. And then there's going to be another stream. Like I said before, there's going to be another stream tonight. I haven't solidified the time frame just yet. But Sevi, Moss, and Nomi are going to join me for more brush hour. I don't know. Maybe we'll do a small art party or something like that. And it'll be fun. Moss and Sevi have both done art challenges with me. And so they're artists as well. They've done some really cool creations. Moss is like a dungeon map maker. Here we go. Perfect. I think I'm going to have to change Moss's eyebrows, but here we go. I want it to convey frustration, not just confusion, but like frustration. So maybe I'll change his eyebrows, but let's get this going here. I probably should just make a stamp of these people's faces so that way I don't have to draw them every time. I was looking that up this morning. Like, how do you make stamps in Procreate? Here we go. Et voila. I need to go to one of these meetups sometime soon. It's been several years. Yeah. MegaCon next year. Everybody's coming. Exactly. Moss, shave your face so it makes sense. Make it make sense. So you're drawing YouTubers. I'm not familiar. Well, they're my friends. So this, for example, let's see. Justin, yeah, it's been a while. Let me show you some of my other work real quickly. I've just been doing so. This is my friend Nomi and I. So we do gaming over on Kick, Justin. I'm dreaming _Tabitha. And we played Chained together. Absolutely hilarious. And so this is me over here holding up Nomi. You can see we're chained together, falling to our doom. And super funny. And that just kind of kickstarted me creating these little chibi things. This one's not quite as well planned out as when I was first getting started, but this had to do when this is Joe Rosie over here, Nomi drowning off in the background, and then there's me. This is what I look like on Sea of Thieves, the pirate game, and there's a whole story behind this one. Why am I setting the ship on fire? You'll find out one day. And then this was my Alt F4 experience. Nomi's trying to stop me from achieving Alt F4, but it didn't work. And then this one was the first escape the backrooms game that or chibi that I did. So you can see here Nomi, Sevi, and I, streamers as well, gaming. Are we gonna tell Moss about the monster? That's me over there chewing on a French fry. And they're like, nah, he'll be fine. Be fine. And then so my most recent one was with Split Fiction. Joe Rosie and I were playing Split Fiction. Joe, get the shields up before the next cosmic blast. But what do I do? And it's literally like, push. So I'm just having fun with these little strips here and having a great time creating. So now I'm in the process of the next story. So you might not have seen that. Quick, this is the only way. Follow me. And Moss leads us into this labyrinth. And Sevi's been at the end the entire time waiting for us because he was so confident that he knew the only way to get to this room. And she's like, I've been here for 12 minutes. So that's the story behind this one. Hey, Hulk, have you heard the Meryl Streep might be cast as Aslan in the new Chronicles of Narnia? So here's the problem. Here's the cool thing. That's she would do great as a majestic, wise creature lion. She would have a great voice for it. For Aslan, sorry, nobody will ever top Liam Neeson, and Aslan's a dude. So there you go. But if she would do the voice acting for any other kind of creature, I'd be on board for it because she does have a good voice for that. Like when you hear how she speaks in like Devil Wears Prada, she has a really great voice. See you, DL. No problem. We'll catch you later. Seems like you have a solid comical art form that's lighthearted and fun. Well, I mean, you know who I am. No, I fell into this and it's giving me see you, Grape. It is giving me confidence in sunshine and rain. But it's helping me with other projects that I want to take more seriously. Yep, poor Joe. She gone. Well, if she had just pushed the button. Meryl Streep as the witch would be amazing. I don't think so. I think she's too old for that. I mean, she has the body language. She has the voice, but I don't think she has the look. To be fair, Tilda Swinton did not have the look either. Okay. Having an unattractive queen of Narnia made no sense. Ice Queen of Narnia. Okay. The book talks about how beautiful she was. And one of the key things about her face that the book really zeroes in on is how red her mouth was. I mean, like it doesn't it say like her really red lips or really red mouth. Okay. And then Tilda Swinton shows up, blank as a sheet of paper. Okay. Look, I'm not saying that Tilda Swinton didn't do a good job as an ice queen. She did. Like she had the anger, the authority, but do her up a little bit, okay? It's literally supposed to be a beautiful woman. How else do you really think that she got like besides giving Edmund the Turkish delight, which God knows we all like Edmund sold his soul for a terrible dessert. But okay, one way that you can lure men and boys and stuff is by having a motherly charm and being an attractive woman. It's like it's just part of the thing. So it just didn't make any sense, okay? I'm not saying that Tilda Swinton was a bad choice as far as an actor's concerned. How they dressed her up was horrible. Absolutely horrible. There was a good movie, though, all over. She did a great job as the evil queen. I blame the cosmetic department and the art director. I'll grant you, she would have been better in the 80s or 90s. Oh, Meryl Streep? Yeah, she just need to be younger. I think it makes a difference if she's younger. Although you could go grandma nurturing aspect. So, I don't know that it's specific. Well, she was younger, wasn't she? Because that was kind of her thing too. Like she was a little bit vain. Like in the Magician's Nephew, when you first see her, well, she was younger then too. So, Justin, maybe with a little thought here, Meryl Streep wouldn't be a bad choice. You could go with the loving motherly aspect, like grandmother aspect for that to lure Edmund to his doom. All right, so we got Mosskin. We just got to move his head over a little bit. Let's see. Does that work? Let's have a look. I love that somehow I still have his cake back there. Moss can't. There's no hiding, Moss. There's no undo. There's no hiding. Okay. Let's get rid of some of these details to really know if we are cutting the mustard. Thank you all for hanging out with me on this Tuesday morning. I know you could be somewhere else, being productive, reading a good book, whatever the case might be, but I always enjoy hanging out with you. We always have very interesting conversations, maybe way too interesting conversations. Hey, no weirdos today. Not that I know. I mean, there was one person who like was trying to get me to follow them on TikTok, but they didn't do anything weird. They didn't say anything nasty over there on Kick. It was all friendly, all love over here on YouTube. So we must be doing something right, you know? Okay. I just have to change the direction, I think, of Moss's eyes here. So we're going to get rid of that. Yeah. I think that works because then I can put the word bubble here. Maybe. Unless it needs to go over here. So that we're going to play with the balance there. Hey, fantastic. You are still here. But I think that's good. I think I can merge. I can schmerge these groups together. I'm not sure why it's in a group. Nope. Okay. It's fine. Whatever. It's fine. Maybe I need to make Moss smaller and standing in the doorway. I have to figure out if I just leave him. I think the whole point is that I need to make it so that Moss, like his body language and everything says all that you need to know so that I don't have to do the little bubble. All I have to do is just the bubble for Sevi. Like have whatever I'm going to have like here or something. Like what took you so long? I think this would be the composition that I'm going to clean it up, of course, would best suit this situation. If I have, and then if I just do the little like, what is it? These little anime panic things like, what the freak Koopa? Then that, I'm not exactly sure. They kind of look like exclamation points. I'm not an anime person, but I've seen them. I know, or sometimes they just have the lines, like. Could you imagine if that was in real life? We just walk around like shocked and like things come. Anyway, but I think this works. Let me get rid of these. Get rid of these books. I think I'm going to leave. Yeah. Okay, there's something I gotta clean up down here. I don't know what it is. There's something down here that it's reading. Well, that's no problem. You know what we're gonna do? We're just gonna chop it off. Yeah. I think that works. I think we have the winner. And then all I have to do is add up in this little area here. I'm going to put little versions of Nomi, like very undetailed versions of Nomi, myself, and Moss going through the maze. And then it ends up here. And then we'll have our little 3-panel comic so that I can get to work on other things. By the way, I don't really push this out there, but if you are interested in having me do some work for you, if you'd like to hire my services for commissions and things like that, please feel free to reach out to me on my email, dreamingtabitha@gmail.com. I just recently did a commission for someone. Here's their logo. I did another commission. I don't have hers up here. I'll need to post it, and I have other opportunities that are coming up. So like my schedule is filling up, but my schedule is filling up. But I'd be happy to do some work for you if you were interested in it. But I think we're going to call it quits now because I have a whole bunch of other stuff that I have to do before I get back to drawing. And I want to thank you so much for hanging out with me. You guys are amazing. And I don't know, Justin, if you're still out there, I'm going to play a video for you that maybe will help you understand why I do the things that I do, because they're fun. They give me good, they're educational. Good to see you, Justin. I hope you're doing well here for your educational value and entertainment, Justin. This one's for you. Thanks so much for hanging out, everybody.
What in the world? What?
Our ship disappeared. Joe!
Joe! Joe, bring back the ship! What are you doing?
It's too much.
I thought you guys were on board, and I had.
Did you see our names? This is the worst group of pirates.
Did you hear us calling any commands?
Nope.
You
I
didn't
was
see
like,
us
I
on
am
board.
going
You
to
didn't.
commandeer. I decided to commandeer the boats.
Man, first we lost them, now like Joe's abandoning us. Tabitha, where did we find this group?
They're in materials or something.
Joe, are you still on this ship?
Yes, I am. I am straightening out. Oh, you're here!
Yeah, we're here.
Get here. How'd you guys get here?
I
Oh,
found
the
a
mermaid brought us here.
Oh,
And they're still shooting at us.
Is it really?
I hear shots.
Am I crazy? No, I definitely heard something.
It gives me the option to rejoin the previous session.
Oh, right over there. Is that not a ship over there? Oh, it's like a congregation ship.
Oh, I am overboard.
Wait, what? Why?
Oh, the ship's on fire! The ship's on fire!
Why?
The ship is on fire because nobody sails without the entire crew. So Joe, have
And
fun.
There's massive holes in the boat, guys.
Oh no!
You steal the ship, you
Okay.
suffer the consequences.